everyone, it's Sharana from Pay Your Weight, and today I'm going to be reviewing Kajillionaire, which is written and directed by Miranda July, and it stars Evan Rachel Wood, as this film centers around a woman's life that has been turned upside down when her criminal parents invite an outsider to join them on a major heist that they're planning. So this is one of the films that actually premiered at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year, and I had the chance to see. And for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, hello, so glad you came. I hope you stay. I tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay your way to see this film, which is in theaters right now, and also too when it hits VOD on October 16th. So going into what I enjoyed about Kajillionaire, first and foremost, as this film really centers around this very awkward and abnormal family, really centers around the relationship between the parents and their child, as they're basically a family of schemers. Okay, they are always trying to scheme their way, scheming people who may come into their contact, scheming to really put food on their table and to really just help support their way of life. And so one of the things that I first have to say that I really enjoyed about this film was really the portrayal of Old Dolio's parents, Robert and Teresa, who is played by Deborah Winger and also to Richard Jenkins. I thought that they were just so fantastic as this, like, they're this couple who it seems like their family dynamic is kind of really intact because they're all a part of this scheme. But as the story begins to unfold and as you realize that this is a very unhealthy family unit, not because of mainly the scheming that they're doing, but really their upbringing and their treatment of their daughter, Odolio, who is actually played by Evan Rachel Wood. And I would have to say I really, really enjoy Richard Jenkins, kind of this paranoia that he has, how he's just always thinking about how to like get ahead at someone else's expense, but also too, the way that he really does have a good relationship with his wife, Teresa, played by Deborah Winger, who I also enjoyed as well, but is really watching them together on screen and watching how they treat their daughter. I really did enjoy their performances. And also too, for me, because as I'll get into when I get into the things that I didn't like about the film, because the pacing feels off for certain parts of the film, I really did enjoy the presence of Gina Rodriguez, who plays Melanie, who is a young woman who they come in contact with, who's kind of thrust into the scheming family as they're trying to plan the next way that they're going to get over on someone. I will say that the dynamic that she has with the rest of the cast is really great. And she actually makes the film more enjoyable. It helps speed the pacing up throughout the course of the film. And so I would have to say that she was a well-added presence within this film, Kajillionaire. But also, too, just the awkwardness that Evan Rachel Wood provides as Old Dolio, as you truly see the effects of the lack of parenting or the lack of really nurturing that they have for their daughter, how this has led her to be this very awkward, very reserved, and sometimes just, I mean, it's just like, girl, what did your parents do to you in this upbringing? I think from the demeanor that she has, the posture that she has, how she dresses, how she truly transforms into Old Dolio, I think she does a great job with it, even though I might have an issue with the tone of her voice, but I'll get into that with the con. But I do like this unique perspective of a coming of age story. In this film, her character is actually 26 years old. So when you think coming of age, you truly think about, oh, like this is a young teenager or a young child really coming into their own. But due to kind of the environment that Odolio has been brought into, you can really, I love that this film truly explores the effects of how not properly nurturing your children, how not properly bringing your children into this loving environment of the family, like how that can lead to someone really like being thrusted into kind of, I mean, you can say she's really starting to grow up, but this shouldn't be happening at 26 years old. But I like really this narrative behind that, and how do you break away from kind of generational curses or family curses out of this unhealthy relationship that you have with the only two people that you really know, the only two people in the world that you truly have formed some type of relationship with. I do think that the film does an okay job of exploring that, and I think it's a very interesting way how they showcase this throughout the course of the film. Now, even though there are a lot of things that I did enjoy about Kajillionaire, for me, the issues that I have with it is first the pacing. For the first like 45 minutes of the film kind of just like, okay, like I see the scheming that they're doing, but I'm not really understanding the point of it. And I think that the film kind of drags along until we get the introduction of Gina Rodriguez's character Melanie in the film. And I think that maybe the first half of the film would have been better explored, maybe delving a little bit deeper into how Odolio was brought up, you know, how her parents have become these schemers. This has to be some type of learned behavior. That has to be something that has happened not only in their upbringing, but also too early on into their relationship that kind of has led them to this point of where we're introduced to the family as a whole in the film. And I think there are a lot of questions that are still unanswered of me trying to really understand and see the family environment that has happened to make Odolio who she is today. And for me, that is something that I would have been more interested in seeing instead of them lingering on to these different schemes, because while it's sometimes enjoyable to watch the crazy things that they come up with in order to get money or in order to pay rent and things like that, I just felt as though it kind of hinders the coming of age part, because we really don't get to see, but only for a few moments towards the third act of the film, of what Odolio is really trying to overcome, of her really experiencing that, hey, I don't think this is normal. I don't think this is how parents are supposed to treat their children. Now also too, even though I enjoy Evan Rachel Wood in this film, there's an accent that she does with her character that I was just like, okay, her parents talk like this, but she's talking like that. And I know that it's probably to show how sheltered she is, how almost brainwashed to a certain extent that her parents, the upbringing that they've had with her has turned her into this person. But it just kind of threw me off a little bit throughout the course of the film. While I think that the third act of the film really comes together beautifully towards the end. Overall, for me, I was left really underwhelmed after watching this film. Even though it has really great performances, I think the movie suffers from a story standpoint that really affects the pacing of the film, and really being able to embrace this thought, this narrative that Miranda July is trying to convey to the audience. So for me, what I will tell you guys to do with you and your coins for Kajillionaire, unfortunately, it's a wait for me. Even though there are some enjoyable parts of this film, I don't necessarily feel like it's something that I would ever necessarily watch again. But most importantly, it's not something that I would spend my money on. I think that if this ever became available free on streaming or anything like that, I would definitely tell you guys to give it a watch and form your own opinions. But for me, it's going to be a wait. So those are pretty much my thoughts on Kajillionaire. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pay or Wait, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000, and until I see you again.